All right, guys, we're going to get out of here pretty soon. So today we talked about the ZR1 potentially thwarting the release of the GTD because it is cheaper, it makes more power, it's probably quicker in many of the tracks, and it is a ka-chunk production vehicle as opposed to a Canadian built. Now, we don't know if the tariffs are going to affect the GTD or not, but something tells me if you have to buy a GTD and it has to come back in from Canada to the US, regardless whether you stamped it out in the US, sent it to Canada, it has to come back in after it's sold. I think tariffs will be placed on it unless Ford does some shenanigans and say, no, don't put that last taillight in until we do it at Flat Rock or whatever, and then Livonia or some shit, and then we'll say it's built in the USA because you put the last taillight in. So I think it's going to be interesting once the release comes out, and if the ZR1 actually runs quicker than the GTD in the Nürburgring, it is going to be egg on the face of Ford because this is the best they could do with a street-going vehicle. The best they could do. Full blown out race car. And if a production car beats it, is going to be a problem. So that'll be interesting to see if that pans out. We also, the fuck else we talk about? Lee Zeldin, the GTD. What the hell else did we talk about? What did we talk about first thing? Let me see what's the title of the Canadian. Oh, Head Games. Sorry. Head Games actually came out with a video comparing the Boss 302 head to the Gen 2 head. For many years on many forums, people have been saying, the Gen 2 head is the same as the Boss. And then he actually showed that it is not. The cast is different. And the Boss 302 flows more on the exhaust side. Intake is a bit of a wash. So it is an interesting take. And it'd be interesting to see a ported versus ported version. That'll be good to see data on that. Then he has like 30 videos to make. Ported 1 versus ported 2. Ported. I'm saying it right now. Head Games. The Gen 3 head. Listen up, guys, because I'm Nostradamus when it comes to this shit. I haven't seen flow numbers. I don't own a flow bench. The Gen 3 head is going to be a sleeper. And you're going to go, why the fuck is this head so good? Hey, yo. You're going to see Head Games. Do me a favor. Flow the Gen 3 head versus a Voodoo head. Oh, don't let people know that a Gen 3 head potentially is Billy badass when compared to all. You got all three generations to compare. But in my opinion, because you compared the Gen 1 head versus Voodoo, then ported it and go in there, I think you should compare stock for stock a Gen 3 head versus a Voodoo head. And I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised as to the outcome. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for hanging in there with me. Head Games, Gen 3 head. I'd love to see the results before you air them out, just to verify what I think is happening based on the numbers that I see. Because think about it. With a 302 and cams, you can make 500 rear wheel horsepower, and you don't need the 0.2 liters and extra 1,000 RPMs to make 500 wheel horsepower. Trust me, you will be very surprised when the Gen 3 head gets flowed, and you're going to go, shit, this bitch is actually pretty badass. But because of the journals and the cams and the bullshit, I think you're going to, have some deficiencies, using the Gen 3 head in certain applications.